So, welcome back to part three of my heart attack story. Depending on how I post this, maybe my plan, my vague plan, was just to do one long video. But this is longer than I thought.
Yeah.
So now maybe I'll just post it in three separate videos, and if you're watching this, thanks for watching the first two. If you haven't, then it'll make more sense. This one might be the shortest installment because we've gotten through most of it. And in case you were wondering, the noise was a neighbor who's pulling a trailer into his yard. And it was just making a lot of jingling noises. So that's why
It did sound like someone was like gonna tear down our deck behind us, but that's not what happened.
So
anyway,
made it through the surgery. Made it through the pump surgery when they removed the windshield washer pump from my leg. Tied me down. I survived. Vomited a lot. Survived. Migraines.
Yeah.
Survived. So I won at the first clinic thing. Three. Did I get two CAT scans or three? You already answered and I forgot.
I thought it was three.
Three at Anschutz.
Yeah.
In the cardiac
so four
ICU.
Total.
So then it was a fifth one that I didn't tell you about.
How do I not know about this?
Because I didn't say anything because I didn't want to go in the CAT scan again.
Oh, the migraine.
Migraine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I remember a time where I was like, "Are you okay?" Because you were acting like you were getting a migraine.
And I don't think it was as full blown. And they're, yeah.
Yeah, and then you might have slept.
Which is what that's my treatment for the migraines. Is just to get home, hot shower on my neck, and then go to bed, sleep it off. So yeah, that's probably what I did, except for the hot shower. It's just closed my eyes and slept it off.
Yeah. So so that was 13 days total. And then they released. I keep saying they released us.
Released me on good.
Released Tony.
On good behavior.
Yeah, and
I think the last 3 days I was asking when can I go home.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the last 3, maybe 4 days? I may have started asking.
Yeah, and
but yeah, looking back, I probably wasn't ready. I was mentally ready. I'm like, I wanted to go home, but they're like, okay, let's see if you can walk around the room without passing out. And I did walk around.
Like, oh, I'll do it. I'll do it. If I can go home, that means I'll do it. Like.
And then I passed out.
No, I think you were at the last couple days. You were doing okay, not passing out. But
yeah, I remember they. Did they give me like a walker the first time to like walk around?
Yeah.
Did I like walk to the atrium and back? That might have been the first trip. Thinking back now, I'm like, that's 5 yards, maybe 10 yards.
Yeah, it was.
It was not that far, and it probably took me 10 minutes.
30 feet, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 10 yards. Yeah. I just did that math.
Or 9.5 meters for the Canadians. Or the entire rest of the world. But anyway.
Yeah.
My coworkers now speak in metric, just in conversation and sometimes emails. Somebody said the temperature in his office, in his room, his laboratory, was 3 to 5 degrees too high. Like in Celsius? And he meant Celsius. It wasn't. I forget what it was. Maybe anyway. Doesn't matter. My coworkers.
Science.
My coworkers are fluent in metric.
Yeah. Anyway, so they sent Tony home with medical equipment still attached to him, and that made me nervous because again I'm not a trained medical professional, and so I was nervous about that. But once we got home, it felt so amazing to be home. I don't know what you remember about that. I was so thankful to be home.
Yeah. I slept less because I'm slowly getting better, slowly healing. Well, I was able to walk around like anytime I wanted at home. I wasn't afraid of passing out. I don't think I hesitated to get out of bed and go do whatever, which wasn't much.
Yeah, he'd walk from the bedroom down to the living room here.
Which is the far end of the house. It's a long ways.
Sleep in the chair.
Yeah.
And the cat
chair beside me. I'll see if I can.
She was taking care of him.
If you haven't been seeing still pictures throughout this video, then I didn't get around to putting them in there. But there's one you showed me
We
this
have
afternoon.
Pictures of the cat sleeping on Tony.
Yeah, I'm out like, on the recliner, and she's also sleeping on me.
Yeah.
Um,
She was very glad to have
her human back.
Tony home. I'm the spare human for the cat, and Tony
Yes.
Tony was the primary human. So
Yeah. The late great Narcissa.
yeah, we lost her in November, sadly. But anyway, she was a key part of you recovering. So there's that.
Mostly she would just sleep on me.
Yeah, which, and I did notice she was sleeping on his chest a lot.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that. I'm like, I don't remember it bothering
She
me.
would sleep on his chest.
Other than, and she wasn't a big kitty
No.
until she had her weight on the soft part just below your ribs. And like, you're a little lard ass. That's not comfortable. And I'd either slide her up, but then she'd have, well, depending on, she'd either have like her butt, she's laying on my chest, like her butt in my face, and I'd slide her down like then. I'm like, that's too much pressure on my stomach.
Yeah.
I'm like, can you rotate sideways, kitty? And then she'd like go back and like just,
Because really, it was her world, and we were living in it.
yeah.
So yeah. But anyway, so we stayed home. So I remember, because I hadn't been to work at all, of course, during those times. I'd taken leave, and then when we got home, I spent another full week just not working, being at home with him, making sure the medical pieces were still. We were still watching things and taking meds, and so we didn't leave the house at all. And I got really good at ordering all the things. Like I had done some of that during COVID, but I just was exploring what else can I have delivered, what else can I have to, because just to like.
We didn't do that much of that.
Yeah,
Prior.
and then we were getting Highlands Church had set up a food train for us.
Yes,
meal
thank you
train.
to everybody who
Thanks
I've
to
forgotten
everybody.
to thank, which is probably everybody.
Yeah,
That was
it was overwhelming, the support we got on that, and
very helpful.
a lot of you contributed money to that, and we used that for DoorDash and things like that. We got some DoorDash and what are the other ones?
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats. We got gift cards, and so we were.
Some people brought food. It was all very good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We had people bringing food to the house. Really good food. It was just, we felt very loved and supported, and we appreciate that. So we were in the house for. After I worked one more week, worked from home, so I spent a total of 2 weeks here with you. After.
So the first week was just taking care of me, not work, and the second week was taking care of me and work from home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I think I was 2 weeks in the hospital, and then 4 weeks before I went back to work, or before
I feel like you went back to work too soon.
Maybe a little bit. I felt bad and guilty and a
Yeah,
little
and I was
bit.
like, dude, you heart attack. Like, simmer down. Like, it's gonna be fine. And your boss was really supportive, just like
take what you need, do what you need.
Yeah.
So
that was good.
I remember going into that job. So I'd only been at that job 4 months.
Yep.
And I'm like, I have 300 and some hours of sick leave. I'm never going to use all this. I use most of it.
Yeah, mine was pretty depleted at that point as well. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm like, how many? I'm figuring like, if I go into retirement, I'm like, 10 years from now, how do we handle sick leave? Can I get paid for sick leave? Because I'll have hundreds and hundreds of hours. And now I don't.
Yeah.
Because even afterwards, I was using it a couple hours a day, 3 times a week for cardiac rehab. So that was depleting it still faster than I was earning it. Yeah.
So how has your recovery been since then? How are you doing now, 1 year later?
I need to exercise more. And I'm taking the drugs, whatever drugs they tell me.
Yes, Tony didn't like, before this, Tony would be like, he would say he has a headache, and I'd say, How about an Advil? Perhaps.
No, there's not doing any good.
How about a Tylenol? Perhaps.
That doesn't help. I don't need it.
Totally like anti whatever. And so we're in the hospital, and the nurses are telling me all the things that they're gonna have to start.
They would explain them to me like, oh, this bottle or this cup full of drugs is for you, this and that and this and that. I'm like, I'm sure. I don't remember any of what they said and was, half coherent. I'm like, if you tell me to take it, I'm going to take it. I'm in the ICU.
Yeah. Well, and the cardiologist, Dr. Brecky, was telling me, and I was sharing with Tony, that there was a regimen of medicine that he would have to take for at least the first 12 months after the heart attack. So we're still doing that. We're still going to have to go for a little while for different reasons, but maybe 15 to 18 months. Anyway, so I was like, he's going to hate this because he will not take any pills. And so I remember telling you, because we had just gone through like retirement planning exercises as well. Like we were looking at our retirement stuff and
before the heart attack.
Before the heart attack, and so what I said to Tony was like, the pills are part of the retirement plan. Like we have to get to retirement to help it be a plan. So Tony's been very good about it.
I've been a good boy. I've been a very good boy.
He's been taking his meds, and most of the time I'm putting him in those little pill boxes for him. Not every single time, but often.
No,
it's part of the thing I do.
Yeah.
To make sure. So.
And I did it for the first I don't know how many months, but then you were like scheduling your vitamins and like, can you do mine?
Like
I'm gonna go out and
we're doing all the people. But we're doing the vitamin boxes and the medicine boxes.
We're got like Monday AM and PM and another box for Tuesday AM.
Yes.
Yeah.
We graduated to the AM PM pill boxes. We're making our way to retirement so that we can retire and enjoy.
One of us is old.
I feel old as well. But anyway.
If I make a 3D printed pill box, does that make me cool and old?
Didn't you already make one of those?
No.
It had like a lid. You made one already.
Oh.
It was a while ago.
Yeah. It's been a while ago.
Yeah. So I think the recovery has been good.
Oh,
we still. What?
The green 3D printed thing.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
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 That was one of the. Yeah.
I got him a 3D printer for Christmas one year. Was it the COVID Christmas? Whatever it was, I think it's the best Christmas gift I've given him because his eyes were like, oh my gosh. So, but we need to set it up again at the.
Yeah.
We're in a new house from when I gave him that, so it has to get set up again. So anyway, like wrapping up here.
Yeah, what did we miss? We'll think of stuff after.
How is you're doing well?
I feel fine, but I felt fine before. Turned out I wasn't. What? Yeah.
Well, you look good.
Thank you. You look good too. I think I got my dad's genes on the outside and my mom's genes on the inside. I think I got my cholesterol from mom's side and my joint pain from mom's side
and the heart issues.
Yeah, so from cardiac rehab was really good. It's 3 days a week for an hour-long session. They'd hook me up to heart sensors, which were like wireless, so they could keep track of things while you run on the treadmill, do a couple other things. And once a week, I would ask him, like, how's my rhythm look? The little charty, the whatever it is. And they're like, your rhythm looks great. They had a different word for it. And a couple times they commented, and it was there's NPs and MPs and physical therapists, and they all had a different title. They're very good. Went to Lutheran Wheat Ridge. I forget the Intermountain, whatever they go. Whoever bought them out, yeah.
Lutheran Hospital.
They were very good. But a couple times when I asked the question, I'm like, yeah, your heart was more steady than mine would have been. The nurse talking at the time that like their heart would have missed more beats just during that same time. So I'm like,
Wow.
oh, my rhythm is really good. As far as I know, the valves are really good. So this is my understanding. There's like three kinds of cardiac events, heart attacks. There's the electro, the rhythm. That's the kind where an AED defibrillator is handy. The other kind is valves, and those are a little less urgent. But I think those require open heart surgery, which some of the people in cardiac rehab, um, somebody was saying, it's been 5 months or 6 months since the surgery, and I finally did a full golf swing, golfing. Um, and I'm like, really? Why does that matter? And they're like, Tony, yours they went in through your femoral artery. It's like for the valves, they go right through the chest. I'm like,
Crack you open.
super painful. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm glad I didn't have that one.
I'm very glad that wasn't your story.
So I had the third, from my understanding. Somebody knows better. Feel free to tell me. I'll forget, but you can tell me. Cholesterol, clogged arteries. Um, so
And actually, we haven't said this yet, but
oh yeah,
when you were in there, when you went in for the stents, basically they said that the left anterior descending artery was 100% blocked. And later, the doctors, when they would do rounds and they'd talk to me, they called that the Widowmaker. And I'm glad they didn't say that the first day when I wasn't sure what was happening and was freaking out quite a bit. They said that
Yeah.
later.
yeah.
The other term they used was STEMI.
Oh yeah.
So for you medical people out there, there's that. There was also
that
another.
has to do with the rhythm. There's like 4 or 5 parts to the heart. Like, go this way, go this way for you. Doo-doop, doo-doop, or whatever the sound is. So like it's going up, and they don't call it A B C D. It's like R. You're like Q R S T, because ST is apparently one of the 4 legs, even though it gets 2 letters, and the PQR are each get, or P is different than Q is different than R, but then ST is its own one of the 4 sections or something. So it's on this whatever part they call the ST, and then it's EMI, electro. I don't know.
I don't either. I'm not sure why they call it a STEMI, but they said it every time that they were doing rounds and they were talking about it. And so there was another artery. The second artery was 99% blocked. And
you're right. That's not good.
They stented both of those. And yeah, they told me those things later when I was ready to understand them. I think and maybe they told me right away, and I don't remember them telling me right away.
They might have said like the STEMI is an myocardial infarction.
That's an interesting word.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was scary, and basically they were also in the days following. Every time I'd listen to them while they were doing rounds, and I'd ask questions, and they said essentially it was a massive heart attack. And
sorry.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Me too, because there's way too much of a mess that I've left behind. Way too many projects, half-finished motorcycles in the garage. Yeah. Poor Mel, that she deserves better than that. Half-finished projects everywhere.
Well, and
squirrel.
You had said, because when he woke up in the middle of that night and we went to the ER, you said to me once, you were like, you knew it was bad and you didn't want me to wake up next to a dead
your
guy.
late husband. Did I say that?
You did. You said that.
Like at the. Okay.
You've said that since been
I remember.
Home. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that would suck. Would that suck? That would suck.
Yeah, that would.
Understatement.
And so just like for a long time after the heart attack, every day I was like, what would today be like if Tony hadn't made it? Like, yeah, like I would just, and then I'd be like, okay, but he did make it. We're okay. We're fine.
You'd have a cleaner house.
That feels true, but it's not.
You'd be on time for things.
I'd see previews to movies. Um, Currently,
Yes.
I live a life where I don't know what's coming to a theater near me. Um,
Melanie has resigned herself to a life where she'll never know what's coming soon to a theater near her.
yes, but I love you, and I'm very glad
She does.
we're here today.
Yes.
Because I think, the year has gone quickly. 2024 was a hard year, but like looking at this as kind of the 1 year mark, you've recovered really well. I think we're doing well, I will say.
And did I say at the beginning? Sorry. Did I say at the beginning that I've decided to call March 8th I'm going to celebrate Life Day, as initiated by George Lucas in 1970 some.
Okay.
I'm like, if you know what that is, good for you.
Yeah.
And the clock already set itself. It's daylight saving starts
No,
tonight.
I think that's actually what time it is.
No,
Let me check.
because it's
Oh, it did set itself. Okay.
sorry.
Unless the clock thinks it's in Central Time.
Distraction.
Yeah.
So we were going to watch a movie tonight, maybe tomorrow. Also, by the time you see this, it won't be Life Day anymore, because I'm not gonna edit and post it yet tonight. It's too late. Let's see. I was gonna add like a cardiac rehab, which is super helpful. It was great. Different hospital system, so they may not have all the records. And at one point, they're asking me, Tony, you said you had 2 stents. I'm like, that's what I remember being told. And I went home and checked with Melanie, and she's like, yeah, that's what they were always telling
That's
me.
what they told us.
And then I'm gonna call them nurses, and cardiac rehab are like, but your records show 3 locations of 3 named pieces of the heart. Like, I thought they said 2. And like a week later had a cardiologist appointment, so I asked him. He says, yeah, it was 2 stents, 3 locations, because one stent was so large it covers 2 locations. So one of them was 12 millimeters. So if like the heart is roughly the size of your, can I sit here?
Yep.
Of your fist. One was 12 millimeters, which would be like that. The other one was 30. I'm like, that's a significant part.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
And I'm saying this as much to remind myself that this was serious, and I need to take it seriously, and I need to do the exercises and get the heart rate up for 150 minutes a week or something. I've got it written down, and I haven't been doing it, but I will. What else was I going to say? Survived. All's good. Well, maybe not. Yeah.
It is all good, and you did survive.
Yay! Getting old sucks.
It's hard getting older. Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying that easily. That I'm old. Using those phrases.
You're not old.
Thank you. This is why I love her. One of many reasons.
Neither of us is old.
No.
Yeah.
I have jokes. I won't say them on while the camera's recording.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to say about it?
Trying to remember if there's anything else. So that was 1 year ago.
1 year. Today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, actually, exactly a year ago. Right now, I would have been back home here with Sue and Tracy, and they would have.
Oh.
It was with the Culvers that they brought me, and.
So that's why they're taking me from the 2nd hospital to the 3rd.
Yep, Tony was in a critical care ambulance.
It was cold, but
yeah.
I asked them to cover up my feet because for whatever reason they kept forgetting to cover up my feet. I think in the hospital too, I had to ask several times.
Yeah, the good thing about the hospital, I mean, there's many good things about the hospital, but the warm blankets that they continue to provide,
like preheated
for Tony. Yeah, they pull him out of an oven or a heater, whatever it is. And so Tony, I think that first night you were there, you had like 5 or 6 of them on top of you because you were really cold.
And one of the pictures she showed me today, she showed me pictures today. I'm like, I don't remember this. I'm like, is that like a balloon tent something on top of me?
Oh, yeah, they had this like inflatable thing that they put over kind of his whole torso area, but it had heated air inside, so it was
blowing hot air through the bubbly thing.
Yeah, to
like
keep him warm.
giant puffy jacket, but bigger and kind of like.
Yeah.
And one thing I have zero memory. She showed me a picture of like some electrodes around my head, and then just this mass of dozens of wires
Yeah.
going off to a connection. Like,
That was after the second migraine.
oh wow.
No, I'm sorry. That was after the first one, when they thought you were having a stroke. So it was later that night. It was like midnight, and so this specialist was in there with this electro. I forget the name of it, but it was, she had electrodes all over your head, and then was asking you kind of
What's
questions.
your name? You know what day
Well,
it is?
there was and it was like, some easy ones like,
Color.
what shape has 4 equal sides.
Was I answering the questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
you were doing okay with those.
I do remember, like, just as a general, not part of the migraine, not after a CAT scan or before, but just a general, they come in the morning, here's your morning meds, how are you feeling? Do you know what day it is? Which after a while, they kind of, well, even at the beginning, they blurred together because I have no memory of Saturday.
Yeah, that was...
Like Sunday afternoon is the first time I have any sort of vague memory.
The first 2 days were hard.
But they'd ask me what day it is. I'm like, oh, according to the whiteboard behind you, today's Wednesday. And your name is nurse,
Mm-hmm.
But I was coherent enough to read that and stuff.
Yeah.
Did I have my glasses on most of the time? Like I'm laying there sleeping in the hospital bed with my glasses on.
Yeah. Yeah, also, when you did take them off, the rolling table thing, you had right in front of you, so you just set them down there. So you'd sleep without them, but yeah, you had your glasses on.
Remember when I was able to eat, the food was okay.
Yeah.
They said I could eat anything on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of us can eat gluten, but once I started eating, they're like, eat the bacon. You can eat bacon. You can just eat for now. We'll worry about eating correct later.
Mm-hmm.
Just get your strength back and don't pass out, kind of thing.
Yeah. So we tried a lot of things. There was like oatmeal, there was soups, there was sandwiches, there was so that food was good. I would sometimes go down to I'd get my morning Dawsbog.
That's coffee.
And then I would get I'd go down to the cafeteria sometimes and get my own stuff. So that got a little bit old for me, but I was very thankful that you were still ticking. There's been times since then where I'll wake up and I'm not sure if I'm hearing him breathing or not. And there's been times where I've like checked for a pulse, and he doesn't remember it, but I like wait for it. There it is. Okay, we got a pulse. We're good. So yeah, it's real. I'm like, is he breathing? Let me check this.
Should I tell people that I used to check with your breathing? Because she would just like, stop, let her sleep, and then start again. Yeah. I'm like, you're freaking me out.
We're both sleeping well now.
I feel much better. I feel fine. I think I'm fine. I should be fine. Good for another 100,000 miles, or 53 years, whichever comes first. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much to everybody.
Yeah.
The nurses, the doctors, people who stopped by, people who brought food, sent food, did the meal train.
Donated to the meal train. Yeah.
We were very supported. There's a lot of things that we didn't have to worry about.
Yeah.
Because of the help.
Yeah. We are very thankful, and I mean, we're really lucky that we have friends and loved ones like all of you. So thank you for getting us through that whole time, and for everything you did in the meantime. And I'm so glad you're okay.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have felt really, really bad if I had left just the mess of me behind.
Well, I hate to say this, but in that time where like I was in the worst moment of my life and thinking of all those things, like I was thinking about that. I was thinking, how am I going to clean up the stuff?
She doesn't even know the internet password.
It's true. It's written down somewhere. So there's
Things like that.
It's things like that. So going forward, we're gonna.
And I've given you.
Yeah, I have things in my.
Wrote down all the passwords, but some of them have probably changed since then. Anyway,
we're gonna be doing an annual update on those things going forward to make sure.
Stupid passwords.
Things like that.
Yeah.
So. Anyway.
Thanks to everybody.
Yeah. Thanks again.
Thanks if you're still watching this. Didn't think it was gonna be.
We don't know how we're gonna edit or post it. We don't know, but we wanted to do this on the year.
Yes. I didn't think it was going to be this long. I got to look at 30 minutes for this section. So,
yeah.
Thank you much.
If nothing else, this is very good for us to record this. And
who knows? You may never see this. We'll just keep it for ourselves.
That. We'll see how the editing process goes.
Yeah.
So, I love you.
I mean, never mind. That wasn't an ow. I thought I hit her, like leaned in too fast.
Yeah, it was fine.
I didn't smash your face.
Love you.
Aren't we cute?
Okay.
Okay.
All
Stop
right.
talking.
That's it. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Tee hee. Bye.